That was a far reach.
It was a far reach. It's weird. I don't think it's normally as far as a reach. Okay, so welcome to episode 15 of Knits and Giggles. I'm Brandie.
I'm Debbie.
We are here to talk about knits and stuff.
Yarn and books and things.
Yeah. Welcome. Thanks for hanging out with us today. We usually start with what you're wearing. What are you wearing today?
I'm wearing mittens.
Oh, did you just knit those?
No.
Okay.
I did not make these at all, but I wanted to bring them. I bought them at a summer craft fair. Well,
They're so pretty.
it was like September. So I went to a music festival at Old MacDonald Campground on September. Long weekend, like, I don't know, 3 years ago or something. And a lady there has like stuff she makes out of alpaca.
Yeah.
And I bought these because that weekend was chilly and my hands were cold. So I bought these thrummed mittens. I have tried to make thrummed mittens before. I took a class at Fiber Nook years ago. And I think I got like, I don't know, 4 rows in and I'm like, screw this, I hate it. Because it's so tedious. The making of the thrums.
I've tried to. It's not my thing.
They're so, like, mine, they're so bulky. Like, here.
Yeah, mine
and as
were
I take
massive.
it here, like,
Mine were too big to where, like, I messed it up. I also was doing crochet, not knit then. But, yeah, you need to really work those throms.
like, these ones aren't, I've barely worn them, so they're not
Yeah.
super felted, but, like,
Yeah, the inside felts and then it's all lovely.
warm and stuff. But, yeah, that's what the inside
These are
looks like.
gorgeous.
I know, they're super nice. And you know what? I paid like $40 for these.
That's crazy.
Which is insane.
Like the yarn alone.
Yeah.
That's
These
insane.
are worth way more money. But all the thrums are like the fiber that they make little like rolled pieces and then knit it in to make these little heart shapes.
And then the inside, once you wear it a bunch,
These are starting a little bit to felt, but
yeah, they felt down and then they're much better, like much thinner.
I always forget that I have these. And I was looking through my bin of knits and I'm like, oh, I'll wear these today. Just wear them on the podcast, not wear them outside because it's not that cold out.
No, it's nice.
But the reason I don't often wear them is because they get caught in my jewelry, like the thrums do. So I have to usually wear them when I'm not wearing my rings.
That's fair.
But
And when it's really cold out because it's really warm.
Cold,
And that when you don't need to hold anything.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, my string is... There it is. Yeah, you don't. I guess I can, well, sort of. It's actually very hard to even get a grip on something because they're so bulky.
Yeah. I wonder once they're like felted if it'll be better.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
I
I like those.
mittens. I know, I like them. And the colors are pretty.
They are pretty. I like my colors.
Yes.
Cool. Well,
You're wearing a finished object.
Yes, I am. I finished my Take Your Time Slipover vest.
It looks so good.
It's cute, hey?
I really like it.
Yeah, and I paired it with a t-shirt, just like I said I was gonna, and some jeans. And yeah, I think I'm gonna make another one. I did have a little bit of issue with you can see with this one is a little bit wonky, like it sits out a little bit. Mm-hmm. When I actually first did it, I picked up the recommended stitches, did it in the recommended needle size. Yeah. And it was so big that it was like, kind of like this, and like sitting out. I decreased 28 stitches. I picked up 28 less stitches. That's a lot. This one's a little bit wonky still, but this one fits better. I'm not sure why. Might have been just the way I picked up my stitches. Like maybe I picked up too many in one spot. But I'm not going to redo it. I had to redo one side and whatever, so I'm not going to redo it. I already blocked it.
I like it.
It's fine.
It's cute.
It's cute. Yeah, I can't wait to wear it.
The look of long sleeves and short sleeves. And
yeah. And it's
how
big
deep
enough.
The V is too. It could look good with collared shirts or not.
Well, and I was going to try it this morning, but then I kind of ran out of time. But I have a green sweater that I wear a lot, and I'm thinking about pairing it with the long sleeve sweater. Just see, the sweater might be a little bit too bulky with the vest, but I think like a long sleeve, be cute too. Very versatile and a nice layering piece, like.
And so neutral, so it goes with...
So neutral, it goes with it, yes. I would definitely knit this pattern again. It's the Take Your Time Slipover by Caidree. And yeah, it's available on Ravelry and all the places.
Very nice.
Yeah.
I like it. It makes me want one for myself now.
Yeah. So, what's new with you?
What's new?
Yeah.
Not a lot.
Not a lot. I have a story that I wanted to ask you about. So you remember when we went to the Jelly Roll concert?
Yes.
A couple weeks ago? Okay, well, when I was driving home, it was like 11:30 at night-ish. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I took the back road home.
Yeah.
It'd be like Range Road 231 or whatever.
Yes.
Okay. There's that dog park there, right? The off-leash dog park. I'm pretty sure it's like... I'm assuming that's what it is. There's like a little inlet and then you can park your vehicles there. I always see vehicles sitting there. And then it's like a forested area. Is that not the off-leash dog park?
Where?
Just past the school. Like where you and I park. And then I go straight south. It's in between Y Road and Highway 14. On the right-hand side if you're driving towards me. Anyways.
That's not a dog park.
What is it?
That's, it's a wilderness park.
Okay.
It's just a park for hiking and running.
Either way. Okay, that's okay.
Yeah.
It's a hiking wilderness park.
Yeah.
Guess what was there at 11:30 at night?
Teenagers having sex.
If they were. They're rich teenagers with a stretch limo.
What?
Right? Yeah, there was 2 like regular vehicles parked there, and then there was a massive white stretch limo. I'm like driving by and I look over and I'm like, 11:30 at night? And because of the books that we read, I'm like, I wonder what's happening in that limo.
Where's the driver? Just hey, driver, go park at this wilderness park. That's not sketchy.
And we'll just put up the little invisibility screen.
I'm gonna take my date for a walk.
Oh, they stayed in the limo, and then there was 2 vehicles there too. So I was like, this is really sketchy. I have been reading way too many serial killer romances.
Well,
my brain was going places.
Just wait till we get to the reading part, and I'll tell you what I'm reading right now.
I can't wait.
Okay.
Yeah. I haven't knit. I have knit a lot because I finished this, and it's actually been because we recorded on a Tuesday last time, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it has.
I think so.
Maybe not. I don't remember. But we have not. Let's say it's 2 weeks. It's been 2 weeks since our last podcast. And this wasn't finished. So I finished this. And then I'm pretty sure that I didn't show this because I had only done
think you did.
I hadn't done anything. So yeah, so in 2 weeks I've done 2 front panels or a front panel. I think I have one done.
This looks really oversized now that I'm seeing.
It's going to be very oversized, yes.
But it'll be cute.
And then the back of it. So this, if you haven't seen our previous podcast, I'm making a scrappy sweater. I'm using up all my Surrey and mohair, mixing it and matching it with fingering weight yarn. And it's called the Tenane sweater, also by Caidree, same as my vest. And I had seen an inspiration photo of, it was a different pattern, but I already had this pattern and I knew that I could just make it work. So, it's going to be super oversized. It is so soft. I'm working on ribbing right now and it's green, which originally when I started, I really wanted it to be paler color, probably like this kind of grayish. But the Surrey that I'm holding here and this yarn I still have quite a bit of it, but the Surrey I weighed and I only have 20 grams. So I didn't think I could do 4 inches of ribbing on the bottom, the 4 inches of ribbing on the sleeves, and then also the collar. So I think I'm still going to do the collar in that color. And then the dark and the sleeves. And the sleeves, I don't really know what I'm going to do yet because this dark green mohair is all I have left besides this little bit, which is 20 grams. So that's what I'm hoping to do the collar in, and then whatever I have left, I'll have to weigh it and kind of hope for the best on the sleeves. So I think I'm going to do the collar before the sleeves, and then I'll have, because I don't want the collar to be 2 colors. I know that for sure. So do that. And it's going to be big. Like the collar is going to be a lot of stitches. So
yes.
So I don't want to run out. So I'm going to do that, and then it'll be what it'll be. But I don't know. Like, I might have to do the sleeves all green. I'm not 100% sure. Yeah.
Well, either way, it's going to be very nice when it's done. And because it's so oversized, it's going to be very drop shoulder. So your sleeves will only be like that
I
long.
think so. I haven't tried it on since, like, here. Since the bottom of here. Which is really, like, just...
Once the collar's on there,
yeah,
like that will come to like here. It's gonna be down here.
Yes,
you're gonna have very short sleeves,
so it might be okay. I might, and that's okay if it's short like green and then it's not too much. But we'll see what happens. But I was happy with the fit. However, it's so hard to tell with a V-neck without the collar how your shoulders are gonna be.
Yeah. And I think then doing your collar first before you even do the sleeves at all will help you decide how to
That's
make those
one of the
sleeves.
reasons why I thought I would do that, because I wanted to see how my fit would be in real life. Oh man, now I'm eating my story here. But yeah, I wish you guys could reach through the phone here and just feel this. Like, this is the most luxurious, soft garment I have ever knit in my life. Like, it's phenomenal. And one of the best things about it is like the whole stash dive. I did not buy any yarn for this at all, and I was able to use up like little bits and bobs of fingering, little bits and bobs of the suri that like I was just like, what am I gonna do with this like 7 grams of suri? I already am contemplating making a second one.
Well, and there's the joy of knitting everything in the same color palette. Because when you have all the things left at the end, you can still use them.
Yes.
They just go together.
They work. So if I were to do it again, which I think I am going to, I will have to buy suri and mohair, because this is literally all that's left in my stash of my suri mohair. So I don't have even a full skein left, nothing. This is all it. And I also should say that I have been very fortunate over the last couple of years to win two very large yarn prizes from Instagram giveaways. And so I had 2 skeins of this from that yarn giveaway. And even I think some of this yarn maybe was in from giveaways. So I definitely have been very fortunate to win giveaways where I can use the yarn in these ways. Yeah.
Well, this is inspiring me to use my fingering weight yarn, because I have so much of it from when I first started, and I'd buy them because they were pretty.
And single skeins.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I don't use them, or even 2. Like, what am I really going to do with 2?
Well,
either I'm going to hold them together double and make one thing like an accessory, or I'm going to have to hold it with suri or something. But no matter when I decide to do this and use the fingering weight skeins, I'll have to buy suri.
Me too, yeah.
Because I just don't have that in my stash. It's not something I've ever done, really. So,
and the suri, the only time, every single like starter suri of mine has come in a prize, or I was gifted it. And then like with this light color, I actually was gifted an original skein of this from somebody, and I'm pretty sure it was Lily and Pine that dyed it. And then I made my tessellated. And before I was finished my tessellated, I was sure I was going to run out of suri, and Lily and Pine no longer stocked it. So I asked a friend of mine to try and color match. And I wanted to do it before it was all gone in the sweater. And then joke was on me. I got a full skein, and I actually had some left over from my tessellated. So yeah, suri is just something that I really do buy for like a project. But if I'm going to do another one, I have lots of like lighter blue toned fingering weight yarn in my stash. And so I'm already contemplating buying a dark blue navy suri, a light colored suri, and then a variegated that's like bluey tones, because that's kind of what happened here. I had like 2 shades of green, this color, and then the variegated yak fluff. And it just works so well. And also, if you're like, yes, I want to make one, this piece here, which is hard to see on the camera, but it's actually, my finger's in the wrong spot, right there. It is actually self-striping. So I used a little bit of self-striping left from a pair of socks. And in the sweater, it just works up so lovely with the stripe going almost, it went almost all the way around. So there was no like, not like socks where it goes up. This is one color stripe. And yeah, and that's the other thing too with my finger weight stash. I do make socks. You don't. But I have a lot of like little bits and bobs left over from my socks. So that's nice to be able to work those in to a sweater like this as well. Yeah.
You mentioned yak fluff and it made me think of Brittany. So Brittany Crux Fibers is no longer going to be running her yarn store after this year. And she's been like selling all the stuff. Once it's gone, it's gone.
Her yak fluff is sold out.
Her yak fluff is sold out. So.
I know, and I'm kicking myself for not getting more.
Yeah.
I seen that on her stories and I was like, oh man, I should have went as soon as I seen that announcement and went and got some.
Yeah, she still has lots, so you can go buy things, and there's discounts throughout her store. So when you put things in the cart, then it'll show you what the discounts are. You don't need codes. So that's Crux Fibers. Go and shop and help her out to clean out her store, and we'll see what happens.
Another
we'll see where
really
she's going.
Cool thing about her yarn is that she has her low mileage wool.
Yeah.
Wool. So it's all Canadian, mostly Albertan. I think she lives in the Yukon. But it tells you the sheep's name and where it's from and what fiber mill milled it, and it's beautiful.
Yeah. Great. Does she? I haven't purchased any of it. I don't think, off the top of my head. But is it dyed? Does she dye her
Some
low
of it
mileage?
is. Yeah, some of it is, I believe. Yeah, I have ordered her Canadian singles, which I made a sweater in, and then the yak fluff. I don't think she has Canadian singles anymore, but I could be wrong about that. And then she also has the plates of fiber. So,
yeah, and I have yarn at home from her too, like various weights and linen and lots. Yeah.
She might still. I haven't checked her website in the last day, but she might still have some of the linen because she did have her linen,
which is very nice linen.
It's so nice.
Yeah, it's really nice to work with. I have a whip.
Ooh. A new whip.
It is, it could have been an FO if I would have just done a little bit more on it.
Like a vest.
It is.
Is it your daughter's vest?
Yes.
Oh, wow. You found the yarn or you went with something else?
Well,
this is something else.
This is 2 of 1s.
Oh, it is. Because were you going to order it?
I was going to order a green one. But a lady on Facebook, there is a yarn for sale Facebook group.
Yeah.
And she lives in Sherwood Park, like right near us. And she was selling 3 skeins of this, 2 of 1's wool. And so I bought it from her. This is my 3rd ball, so I've used 2. And this is the 3rd.
And what do you have left to do?
Just the collar.
Oh my God. This is amazing.
So I had to get into the 3rd for
the ribbing.
No, one of the arms, one of these,
okay.
And then I'll have to do the collar, and that's it.
This is fantastic.
I knit it yesterday.
Stop.
It's so fast.
Okay, so is this bulky?
It is bulky. Here's the bulk.
So this would also be a lovely layering.
The Hue and Me yarn from 2 of 1s is made by Lion Brand, and it's on here. It says a bulky 5.
Okay.
And it says US 10.5 needles. This uses US 15. They're so big. Let me see if I have them in here. Oh, I have the 11. So I'm using, it calls for US 13 for the ribbing. I don't have a 13. It goes 11, then 15 in my Leica set. Leica.
Yeah.
Likey. Anyway,
this is so amazing. It's
so yeah. Use US 15 for the body, and then I used 11 for the ribbing.
I love this. I don't think I would knit it only because I think in a bulky weight I would die. I'm always hot.
Yeah, I am
always
too.
warm,
but it's so fast.
It's like so fast.
This yarn as well is wool and acrylic. It's 20% wool, 80% acrylic. So
this would have to be like a jacket
block.
for me outside.
Like it should still block somewhat, right?
I think so.
Wool in it, because you can see how it needs to be.
Yeah.
Like the stitches aren't even. it needs to kind of just be relaxed a bit. And then I had Noelle trying it on. She doesn't like it. I'm like, what? She's like, Mom, can you make something a little more snatch?
What does that mean? Because in my
fitted.
world, that's not a good word.
I know. I'm like, snatch used to be something bad, but not anymore. That means fitted. So she wants it tighter. And I'm like, she's like, can you just change it? I'm like, no. That's a totally different pattern. Totally different garment. Totally different wool. Totally different. I'm like, this is more oversized. So this pattern is the Holiday Slipover by Petite Knit. I will pull it up so that we can see. So it's like...
It is meant to be oversized.
It's meant to be oversized. And just, yeah. I think I knit it so that it wouldn't be as oversized on her.
Right.
But it also, like, look how low the armholes go. Yeah. Like, it's designed to
be
that way.
The design is an oversized.
Yeah, and the armholes are huge. And I actually picked up way less stitches than it also called for. And I looked at multiple Ravelry patterns or, like, projects.
Yeah.
And all of the notes from all these people who've made this. This pattern came out, like, COVID. Oh. Like, over 5 years ago.
Okay, that's a while ago.
Yeah. So there's a lot of projects on Ravelry if you check it out. But everybody on there said to pick up less stitches on the arms because they'll flare.
They'll flare, yeah.
And to also do a really tight bind off around it because they're so low so that they don't flare. So I did that. I picked up way less stitches and did a pretty tight regular bind off. I think it does say to do like tubular bind off or something. I'm like, nah, I don't need to. Nope. I don't need that. It'll be quick and easy. So yeah, just the collar and then it's done. And I'm like, okay, Noelle, if you're not going to wear it, I guess I'll give it to someone else. But
I hope you can find someone that will wear it.
It's cute.
It's super cute. I could see myself, if I was going to knit something like that in like the bulkier weight, I could see myself wearing it as an outdoor garment.
Yeah.
Over like a long sleeve and on a cool summer night.
Like seriously, over plaid?
Yes.
How cute.
It would be really cute.
Outside chopping wood. Can you imagine this? I'm going to give it to Brandie and ask her to pose in plaid with an axe.
Chop some wood for me. My family says that I'm not very good at chopping wood, and I chopped a whole bunch of wood camping last year, and then my son was like, let me do that. You're embarrassing. So, thanks a lot. Apparently I'm not as efficient at it. I was enjoying myself.
I'm not the best at chopping wood either, but I always think of my mom whenever I try and chop wood and how my mom, when she was pregnant with me, so she was 19 when she had me. She would have been, let me think. She would have got pregnant when she was 18, just the way her birthday falls. But she was outside like frickin' 9 months pregnant, chopping wood to heat their home because they lived in the Northwest Territories. So my dad was always like, your mom was chopping wood when she was 9 months pregnant with you. And I'm like, I suck at chopping wood.
Because you didn't need to.
I don't need to.
That's what happened.
But I could look cute doing it in a vest like this and plaid. So.
Oh, I love the commitment.
No. We have other skills. There. That's my web.
I have not knit on my socks, my cuff club socks. I've only knit on this and then finished the vest. And I did technically start a new project today, but I didn't bring it to the show because it's literally one line of knitting. I'm going to try knitting. So the linen. We're back to this linen yarn that I have.
Oh yes, the crunchy linen.
The crunchy linen yarn that I have that's linen and silk.
Mm-hmm.
So I took out the Brooklyn that I started and put it on hold, and I just dislike the way the stitches are. I know I said I was just going to go knitting, but I'm like, no, I can't do it because I will hate that part. And I don't want to put any more time into it if I'm going to already hate it. So I haven't ripped it out yet, though. But I have a whole other skein already caked up. And I went on Rav last night and I searched and searched and searched. Ravelry is amazing because the filtering, the advanced search filtering is so, you can narrow it down to so much, right? Mm-hmm. So I literally made it look for patterns that were only linen and silk. However, some patterns did show up that were knit in like linen and merino because there's options to knit it in the linen and silk. But when I was looking at them, they were clearly not just linen and silk, at least not crunchy ones like mine. But anyways, so I was looking at them and I'm like, what am I going to do with this yarn? And then I came across a couple patterns and I was like, okay, well, we talked about this already, but like if I did something oversized, that could be like a boat cover up or whatever, then that would work. And I looked at a pattern and I almost bought it, but it was, I want to say like 9 or 10 USD, and your Canadian dollar sucks. And then I was looking at it and I'm like, I could make the Tenane sweater, this sweater, in the linen instead, because it was very similar. We talked about this, but the sweater, the pattern says that the Tenane original is knit with 2 strands of mohair held together, which equals a DK weight. And we've already talked about this. That does not equal DK weight. So I Googled it. And lace weight plus lace weight equals fingering weight.
Yes.
So my linen is fingering weight. So in theory, it should work in that pattern. I went down to needle size from the recommended needle size because I'm pretty sure I was knitting with a 4, which is like a 4 US needle, which is 3 something millimeters, I think. But I went down to whatever I'm doing right now. Here, let's see. A 3.25 millimeter, so a 3. So I'm using a 3, and I casted it on, and I also went up 2 sizes from this size. We'll see. It might be too much. But my plan is to try and knit tighter than I normally do. So I've cast it on, and now I just have to do the back part. But I did my cast on different than what is indicated on the pattern, and I am struggling to remember exactly how I did it for this once I got past the cast on. So I need to figure that out. And my brain today was just not computing this morning before you got here. I was like, I'm going to do this and then have like at least a few rows to show everybody, but it wasn't working. So I was like, stop forcing it. But yeah, I think this may work. And here's my plan. If it's like, oh, this is hideous, I hate it. I will either wear it as a nightshirt because it's going to be huge, like potentially, or it might be small. I'm not sure. Linen has less give. I have all sorts of reasoning as to why I went such a large size.
What will the fabric be like though? Will it be very holey?
I don't think so. I think because I'm going small needle, I don't want it to be holey. I don't want holy things. So I'm picturing a layering piece that I can put over a black tank top. Or whatever colored tank top. I only own black ones. That's not true. I own like a burgundy one and a navy one as well. But mostly black tank tops. So yeah, I'm picturing that in the summer, in the evening, a mosquito net.
Over her head.
Debbie's face is not helping here.
I just don't know because I know what the yarn feels like.
I know.
And so it's really hard right now for me to think that it'd be anything nice. Because
I'm going to knit this.
It's hard.
And then I'm going to throw it into like a bin with rocks and water and I'm going to mash them. And it's going to soften it up.
They made one of those like giant, those ice cream balls that you throw around. If there was a really big one.
An ice cream ball?
Have you seen these? So it's like a ball, and then in the center, it has a tube that you freeze, and then you fill it with your ice cream ingredients and screw it on, and then kids outside will play with it and kick it around and play with it. Cream. It makes ice cream as it's being played with. And then,
but you would need like ice in the thing to like hit the yarn, I think.
Probably. But if they made a really big one, we throw it in there. Kick it around outside.
We recently heard that you can like put linen in the washing machine to like soften it up. So that's where this whole crazy talk is coming from. But
well, here's hoping you have a great
summer
This is
my third garment. If it doesn't work, like I said, I'm going to wear it as a night shirt or something.
You know that shirt. So we went out for a knit night. What day was that? Thursday. To a pizza place, which was so good.
So good.
And apparently, the next day, I saw somebody that I know through people on Facebook. I've met this lady once. I don't know why I follow her, but she's an actress in town. Like, she does like local productions for Beauty and the Beast and stuff like that. And she always posts where she goes out to eat in the city. And she went there the next day. She went there on the Friday. And apparently that pizza place, which is called Birch and Bear, right?
Yep.
And
there's a couple locations in Edmonton.
They are like some of the top pizza places in Edmonton right now or something. Like one of the hot places to go.
We went to the hot place?
Apparently. It was really good. My pizza had potatoes on it.
I was a little skeptical, but it was actually delicious. And then I came home and I told my kids that that we had ordered these pizzas. Mine was maple bacon kale. And yours, I can't remember what it was, capicola.
And potato and
with
cheese.
Truffle oil.
Yes.
But yeah, so I said we'd order these pizzas and Debbie was kind enough to swap slices with me so I could try her pizza. And I said to my kids, I was a little bit skeptical about potatoes on pizza. And they're like, Mom, you eat that pierogi pizza at Boston Pizza all the time. And I'm like, yeah, but it's different.
These are fingerling potatoes on the pizza. Like,
it's quite big. Like, they're chunks.
Yeah, they're chunks of potato. But anything with potato has my vote because I love potatoes. So
yeah, it was really good.
The crust was amazing.
It was so good. I'm going back and I'm probably going to order yours because mine was really good too, but yours was really good. Yeah.
But the point of me bringing that up was our server had on that top that you asked if she had made.
Yes.
And it was very like open, holy
net. It looked like a net cardigan.
I could imagine that in linen.
Yes. But I don't want to wear that.
And I don't want a holy garment.
But you're right. That would be
very summery,
chunky.
Yeah. And then last night I was watching some new show on Disney Plus with Noelle called High. It's about a really smart lady that helps the police, and her teenage daughter in the show was wearing like that exact top. Like these like super holy kind of cardigan type, but it had shorter sleeves. And I'm like, is this the in thing right now? Because now it's on TV too. I could make that.
I feel like there's a crochet designer. I'm trying to think of her name. I think it's like WPG Knits or something, but I think she changed her name recently. But she has a bunch of like summer crochet designs, and she has one that is definitely what you're talking about. I'm going to see if I can bring it up.
Yeah, very open. It'd be like 3 yarn overs to drop it and make it like huge holes or something. Yeah, very interesting design. I have an FO.
Is it your sweater?
It might be. My sweater. This is the Big Little Stripes by Jessie Maed. Ta-da! Ta-da! It's done. And the reason I'm not wearing it today is because I need to block it. So I will. But I finished. And I had to, when we were out the other night, I was working on the second sleeve. And then when I got to the ribbing, I followed the pattern and went down a needle size for the ribbing. And then I was like, shoot, I didn't do that on the first sleeve. So the first sleeve cuff was super wide and the other one wasn't. So I ripped out the first one and redid it to make sure the cuffs were the same, which actually looks way better than...
It does, yeah.
Yeah, they're tighter looking. So...
That's amazing.
Yes, and I have like this big of balls of each color left, and I have a full skein of the white beigey color because I didn't use it because the pattern calls for 2 colors. So if I would have used that color, it would have been in the collar and the cuffs and the ribbing. So I would have gone into that third skein. So really this used 2 of each of the striped ones and 1 for this.
That's amazing.
Red. Yeah. Yay.
So I found her. It's Knits and Knots WPG. And she just released, her name's Janine. She just released a book that is summer crochet. And you will see, like that is, right? Like it's very,
yeah,
I can see that in linen. All of her,
that's
very
cute.
Lacy. Yeah,
I want to live on a beach and all the fancy crocheted things.
Yeah, she has lots of cover-ups in there, so yeah, check that out.
If only that were where I lived, not the place that has 2 feet of snow. As of a couple days
For
ago.
most of the year.
For most of the year.
Yeah, we got hit with snow.
A lot of snow.
Thursday, actually, because it started when we were going out.
Yes.
For knit night.
And then I had posted it on my stories on Instagram. And I got messages from people like, I would cry. I would hate this. I'd go into seasonal depression. Well, it's from people not living in this area.
Honestly, it wasn't that bad, besides the roads being bad the one day. But like, one, it was warm out. It was 0. It was melting when it hit. But it is very heavy. I didn't shovel it. I made my kids do it.
It's a lot.
It is a lot.
Like I could see the ground at my house. Like I could see the grass, and there was like a grouse in my yard the other day. And it was sitting under this tree, and I had backed in front of my garage, and I was in the car, and I look up, and there's this grouse, and I'm like, it was totally blended in. Yeah. Like brown on brown ground. And it wouldn't be today because it's now 2 feet of snow. But
I mean, I'm a farmer's kid, so moisture this late in the winter/spring is really good for crops. So I also like to think that this like little bit of snow and colder weather is going to kill the first round of mosquitoes. That's my positive out of this.
Yes.
Bring it on. Kill those eggs. I hate
so you won't have to put your knitting over your head as a mosquito net.
Exactly. Because, when the mosquitoes come out early, they're killer. You gotta look at the bright side.
Yeah, for sure. And I was like, this is second winter, and then it'll be done.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll come back again. Well, like not like this.
Okay, but like made long.
That I know, but that doesn't stay. Yeah, it's just like
still
quick snow when it leaves again. I don't think it'll be like this.
I don't think so.
So I'm going through my things. So on my notes, I had wearing, and I had planned to wear something else, and so I have that on here.
Okay.
I'm going to show you what it is.
Okay.
So I was gonna wear my Catbells today.
Oh, you haven't worn it on here.
Have I?
Maybe.
I think I might have.
Yeah,
I was gonna wear it today, and then I put it on. And I go, man, I should deal with this sleeve. So instead, I took it off and I started ripping out the sleeve
to fix that sleeve
because the sleeve is this much too long on one side. So I started ripping it out, and then as I started to do it, why is it in a baggie, you ask? Because I don't know what the heck is going on. Yeah. But as I started ripping it out, it just kept going and going and going. I'm now past where it needed to go, and I'm scared because for some reason I have 2 balls.
I had this problem when I ripped.
So I can't remember if I was alternating.
I also ripped my entire Catbells out, and I couldn't freaking rip it out. It was so frustrating because I had 2 pieces of yarn coming.
So I don't know why, but I don't know if I was alternating skeins, but the problem is they rip out in alternate directions.
Mine too.
So I don't remember this construction enough to be like, no, stop there and figure out what's going on. I just keep going and going. So now I'm too far gone. And I'm going to have a real big problem trying to pick up these stitches.
I am so glad that this wasn't just my sweater. It was like a nightmare ripping it out.
So I honestly, guys, I think I have to go all the way back up. Because I don't know if I'm going to be able to figure it out and pick up these stitches and try and like fix it. I think I'm going to have to go all the way back.
Because it was just too long. It's not like there was anything wrong with your sweater. There was anything. You should have left it.
No, really. Every time I wore it, I hated it because that sleeve would just hang over my hand. So it was really obnoxious. But
so there has to be something. Because mine would not rip out. It was so awful.
Yeah, like I picked out the ribbing and I was like, oh, okay, and I just started going, but then I got to a point and I'm like, why is there this other end? So I thought maybe I had joined in another skein, so I just thought, okay, I'll just keep going until I figure out where they cross. They don't. It keeps going. I'm like, why would I have joined in this like for an inch? So now it just is.
I know.
It's got a mind of its own, and yeah. So that's why I'm not wearing it. I could have put it on and then had like
just attach the baggie with a paper clip and you're hanging.
It's the new style.
I'm really sorry that you have to redo the whole thing.
Yeah, I do. So that's okay.
I need to do something with that yarn that I ripped out.
It'll get me in the mood to maybe knit the cardigan that I want to knit in the same, like the Catbells cardigan.
Yeah.
So,
and maybe fix your desk later first.
That is also sitting on my dining room table. I have like all of these projects that cover my dining room table right now. Yeah, so that is that. I do love this sweater though. And I really like the laciness of it. And the bottom I modified and did a split hem because it actually doesn't call for that. But yeah.
The reason I ripped my nose is because it was the first sweater that I knit, which was silly. And I was very new knitter when I knit it, and I was not doing my yarn overs right, and I also lost track of where I was in the pattern because I was not doing my yarn overs right. It was hard to see, and so my like lace work was very disjointed.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
I thought that I'd be okay with it, but I really wasn't okay with it, and
that's okay. You can rip things out.
That's right. Speaking of ripping things out, Debbie made me rip out a bunch of things after our podcast last week. The pretty shawl that I was wearing ripped out, and another shawl.
Make you.
And another shawl that I was gonna donate because I was like, I don't really love this yarn, and I think I should just donate this. And Debbie's like, why don't you like rip that out and make something with it? So then I was like, okay, yeah, I should. And then I ripped it all out, and I'm like, I'm gonna do this yarn. It's like bright blue and green, variegated.
You might do something with it.
Yeah.
How did you do it? Did you end up using your Swift and like...
No, I just put it on my ball winder.
On your ball winder. And
held the shawl in my hand and I just... The blue one came apart really, really easily. The one that I was wearing in the last podcast, I think I mentioned that it was kind of starting to felt a little bit. Like it was... getting pilly, and so it was harder to rip out. Also, weird construction that I don't remember because I knit it I crocheted it so many years ago. But I started to pull, and I was like, oh yeah, this is an end, and then I pulled, but it actually was undoing. Like there was an edge on the whole shawl. It was undoing underneath the edge. So I was like, what the heck? And so then I was trying to find another end, but I didn't know if it was in the middle or the points.
Oh.
For the edging, and it must have been actually, maybe each edge was done on its own.
So it wasn't like an applied edge.
It must have been. So then I found one of the ends and I was able to rip it out. But I had already started winding, so I had this like on the winder. And then it got stuck, like the two pieces of yarn were like this. And I was like, what is happening here? And I thought it would be super quick and easy. So I'd already started making dinner. And so I was like juggling this thing and the dinner. And then my kid came into the room and I was like, hey, you got to help me with this. And what we ended up doing was just like wrapping around our fingers and doing the balls. So we would each do one until we got to the middle and then pull it apart and keep going. Because if I didn't do that, the other one was coming apart, but there was nobody to manage that yarn.
Yeah.
So I honestly, at one point, like I looked this up and I'm like, I don't understand how this was constructed and what is happening here. I did have to cut the yarn a couple of times because it would get so tangled. And I just couldn't figure out what was going on with the two layers. So I did cut it a couple times and then just rewrap it. I ended up throwing out a little tiny bit of that yarn. That was just unsalvageable. But that yarn is really pretty and I do want to make something with it. I just don't know what I'm going to do with it.
That's like my experience with the sleeve on the Catbells.
Yeah.
I don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
I need to look at the pattern, but what did I do? I don't remember using two different balls, but I must have because I have two ends.
Yeah.
Weird.
The bright blue and green, like I could see it in a mosaic, but I don't know like maybe a tessellated, but it's fingering weight, so I'd have to hold it double. Like as one of the colors in the tessellated or something, like a mosaic. I don't know. But I don't like, I ripped out 2 shawls. I'm not going to make a new shawl. So, and it is very bright yarn. It's not like something I'd normally wear. So it has to be toned down somehow.
Maybe held with a suri. Tone it down.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know what to do.
Patterns?
Yeah, I have a few.
I have 2.
Okay.
The first one. So this came up because in that same Facebook group where I bought the yarn from that lady, another lady was selling linen yarn for very cheap. And I was like, oh my God, I want this. So I quickly went and tried to look at like, what the weight of the yarn was and stuff like that on Ravelry, and like what kind of project I could make with it before I committed to buying it. And then when I went back to actually buy it, somebody had already bought it from her and it was pending. But it's called Knitsn'Giggles Kestrel Linen, and it's an aran weight linen. Ooh. And it's flat. Like it's not, it's hard to, let me see if I can bring up the yarn. If there's a close-up picture of it on here. So see on how it looks on Ravelry.
I have seen this yarn.
It's 100% linen.
Yeah, I think I've seen this yarn.
And it's soft. Like all the reviews and stuff of people using it say that it's soft. So I don't know if you guys can see this. But
I think I've seen it at one of our little yarn shops.
Yeah, I think probably Fiber Nook might sell it.
Yeah.
But it's Knitsn'Giggles Kestrel Linen.
It kind of reminds me of a chain yarn.
Yeah. I think it is a chainette, but it's like a flat ribbon-like.
Ribbon, yeah.
So it's wider. So it says it's an aran weight.
What color was the color that she was selling? You wanted it so bad and you have to think about it?
Yeah, I don't remember now. But it would have been enough to make a tee. And that's why I also found this pattern, because somebody made this with this yarn as a project. So this tee is called the Flex tee. I'm just going to see if I can find the projects. Because... Oh, I'm actually on Ravelry and not Rabbit. Let me go to Rabbit. I can always find things better there. Here it is. So this is the project that somebody had made with that yarn. Look at it.
Okay, I really like that.
It's so cute. The Flex tee. So it has that like V at the top, but then it also has a little bit of eyelets kind of.
Yeah, in the sleeve.
Like lace across.
I like that.
Just barely.
Like just enough to have like a little bit interest detail.
Yeah. So there's a few people that use this yarn, but this one is knit with that kestrel linen.
Cool.
Yeah. So I like this tee, so I saved it.
We'll have to keep an eye out to to like touch it in real life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so my first one is by Anne Wenzel. And it is called the Tannin Top. I was looking through the hashtag, and it just released, I think. So there was just mostly testers, but I loved all the color combos. And this one is like, and the yoke, and it's
cute.
got suri in it, so it looks very soft and smooshy. But as always, like, this was the original one that I saw, and it didn't even really catch my eye, just the colors. Then I seen the brown one, and I was like, ooh, I kind of like the brown one. So, yeah.
It reminds me of that Kintra one almost that I showed last time. The Kintra sweater. Because it's just the way it's the round yoke and it changes colors
with the stripes.
Yeah.
I like the fit of this one, too.
Is that brioche?
At
the top?
I don't know.
Or is it just color work?
I'm ready. Circular yoke. Charted stranded pattern. So, yeah, color work. Yeah. I think if I had seen that it was brioche, I would have been like, nah.
I like those sweaters, and you can use your minis and stuff.
When I like the sleeve length, though, the sleeve length is like at the elbow, but then it tightens really up with the ribbing. Mm-hmm. And same with the bottom is kind of like in, which I don't know if that would look great on my body type, but on this woman it looks amazing. Mm-hmm. You have another one?
I do. So then when I looked at that flex tee, then I was like, well, again, we're getting to where we should be making summer knits.
Yeah.
And made me think of ones that I've already had stored. So the outline tee by Jessie made.
And this is the one that friends of ours made in the linen that I have that looks good.
Yes. So this is something I would layer. I probably wouldn't just wear it over a bra like this lady is. I would wear it over a tank top or something. But again, super cute, fast knit. This one has a lot of positive ease. She calls for at least 6 inches of positive ease. I probably wouldn't do that much. Like this lady, I can see it doesn't look as much. Like it's a little less positive ease on this one.
I don't think Verna did as much positive ease. I'm gonna have to ask her.
Yeah,
because hers look more fitted.
And Jessie made designs are very size inclusive, so they go up quite large. But I also like how in her pattern, how it gives the measurements. Well, like not even buying the pattern, like just in the description on Ravelry, it talks about measurements to fit chest of this, and then it says actual finished garment measurements. So if I look at, say, the 48-50, which I'm a 50 bust, 2, 3, 4, 5, that would be size 6. But then when I look at what that would be for actual finished, 60 inches. So it's giving me 10 inches of positive ease. That's way too big.
I like when patterns do that because then you can pick the size.
I can decide I don't want that much positive ease. Mm-hmm. It's going to end up with 60. I'd like it to be closer to 50. So therefore, I'm going to be knitting one that's like a medium to get the actual fit that I want.
Right.
Otherwise, it'd be huge.
That's the beauty of making your own garments, because even if the garment is designed to be whatever, and especially with like Ravelry, you see so many people adapting the pattern to what they want. Mm-hmm. You can see it on people modeled or know what you want.
Yeah.
Like even this one, I probably could have gone down a size, but I knew I wanted to wear it over top, and I wanted to have the ability to wear it over top of something that wasn't just thin.
Mm-hmm. So, well, I think with the outline tee, knitting like the size medium, which will give me like the actual bust size that I want, I could do it in like 2 skeins of fingering, which I actually have already in my stash.
Yeah. You just talked about this. You have lots of fingering, right?
I do, but I have like I have 2 that my husband got me as a present, and again, he goes by name. So this one is a Friends themed, and it's like Monica's apartment or something.
Was it purple?
I think it was Yarn Habit. Maybe it is purple, like a purple, and has lots of flecks, like speckles of green and yellow and fun.
Oh, fun.
So a good summer tee. So I could see it as a tee that I might wear like the outline tee. Yeah.
I'd like to see
but I don't know how I would use that yarn any other way. Just because it is very bright. Reminds me of Easter. But
okay, so my next one is called the Luz pattern. Luz sweater. What is it with me picking all these sweaters? I can't say the names. It's by the Knit Pro Girl, and I think I'm on a kick of like loving contrasting stitches, and either whether it's color or texture. Mm-hmm. This one is definitely falling into the texture.
I love that one.
So the top is textured, and then the bottom after the yoke, I think,
it's just stockinette.
It's just stockinette, and I love that broken texture look.
Yes.
And honestly, like, I know we've talked about this, and then there's a little bit of sleeve detail as well. I want to knit something in cream so badly, but I am the worst. Like, I get dirt on me and food, and I'm like, my husband likes to send me these things on Instagram where it'll be like adult bibs.
I own an adult bib. I own one.
He's like, you need this. There was one where it was like a travel adult bib.
Yeah.
He's like, we should get you one. So it's a joke at my house, but yeah, I would be afraid to wreck it. But I would love to knit like this in exactly that color. Or in like a coffee colored brown or something. But yeah. Oh.
My family bought me a bib for my birthday when I turned 40.
Wow.
I know.
That's kind of
so
like
kind.
passively aggressively rude.
But I spill on everything. I don't
too.
think I have any clothes that don't have stains.
I'm the worst. I've seen people say like, oh yeah, I can wear whatever color I want because I know how to get stains out. Well, I don't know how to get stains out. And it's always like butter.
Yes!
I drop butter on. And I'm like, that's a stain.
All the time. It's some sort of grease stain.
Yes. Years ago, I bought this amazing tunic from the thrift store. And I wore it quite a bit. And then all of a sudden, I put it on and it was like this dark mustard yellow. It was the most colorful thing I had in my wardrobe. But it was kind of like chiffon-y kind of material. So it was like, I don't know, very delicate. And I don't know, we were somewhere and Jeff just looks at me and goes, oh my God, are you serious? And I looked and there was like, I had dropped something greasy and there was like literally like 1, 2, and then 3, 4. And I'm like, and they were like huge. And I tried to get it out, but I couldn't. So the garment was,
all the time. I had my best friend in high school. Her name is Michelle. If she ever watches this. I'll tell this story. She wore white jeans, which I would never wear white jeans for sure. They'd be stained or muddy or who knows what. Like wearing flip-flops and then, they splash up the back or something.
100%.
All the time. She's wearing these white jeans and we were sitting in an area of our high school that we called the Pit. And it was just like a amphitheater type thing in the middle of the school that was sunken down. So we'd sit in there and have lunch. Everybody sat in there. Michelle was sat in one spot. She did not move her entire time that she ate her lunch. She stood up and had chocolate muffin all over her butt.
How? Chocolate muffin?
Somehow she dropped her chocolate muffin from her face to her ass. And stood up and her white jeans had chocolate all over the back.
That's embarrassing. And so
no idea how. So the rest of the afternoon, tied shirt or something. Yeah.
This is not where I thought that story was going. White jeans? Come on. That's a noontime story for sure.
I know, but
not chocolate chip.
But it's like, yes, I drop things all over my chest, but I guess I've never gotten it on my butt. I don't know.
Woo! Debbie's winning at life.
Right now, I feel like it.
That's so funny. Well, I'm doing better than Michelle because I don't have chocolate chips in my butt.
That's right.
Oh, man.
But the other day at work, I had a raisin.
On your butt?
Somebody dropped it on the chair. Somebody was eating trail mix at the table, dropped a raisin, didn't pick it up. Debbie sits on the chair, and I'm like, and I kind of shifted in my seat, and I was like, why is my butt sticking to this chair? And I stood up, and you know how raisins, when they squish it, like, it was like that, smeared all over the seat, raisin on my butt.
At least it wasn't like M&M from the trail mix.
No, I cleaned the chair off so it was no longer sticky. Got the raisin off my butt, but then I sit back down and my pants are like the remnants of stickiness.
Yeah.
So I had that the rest of the day. I'm like, thanks guys. You can't keep food in your mouth because it's now on the chair.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I work with preschoolers and I always feel like there's crumbs on the chairs.
I don't.
I know.
But I feel like that might.
I guess. That's true.
I doubt that my boss will ever watch this, so I can tell a funny story about her. She's 65. She just turned 65. She also would hate that I said that because she tells people she's 55. She came to work the other day and asked coworkers, me included, to tell her if her shoes fit her feet.
What?
Feel my toes. Do they fit my feet?
Like toddler. Where's your toes?
And I'm like, I don't know if they fit your feet. You have 5 children and grandkids.
And you're an adult. Can you tell if your own foot fits in your shoe?
No.
Like, does she have like a numb foot?
I'm not feeling your toes.
Good boundary, Debbie.
I was like, when I tell my kids to check their shoes, I say to slide their foot all the way forward, and if they can fit fingers behind the heel, those shoes are too big. So she's like, great. So she did that, and she's like, well, my fingers don't fit. I'm like, then those shoes fit your feet.
Debbie saves the day. That's crazy.
So I don't work with toddlers, but I feel like sometimes I do.
We, because the preschoolers bring indoor shoes, right? And they bring them in September. Well, around Easter time, like March, April, kids are outgrowing their shoes. So usually for spring break, which we didn't do this year, it's weird, but usually we will send shoes home and ask parents to do a fit check.
Yes. Smart.
Yeah. And then they can get them new shoes. We've already had a couple kids need new shoes. For sure. Yeah.
Do you have more patterns?
Oh, I have one more, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. You said you wanted to. So this one is the Kaylee sweater. And it is by Johanna Gairich.
Oh, yes.
Yes. And I don't think I've shown this one on here before. But it is a very cool construction. I'm really loving the look of this. I'm going to bring it up on Instagram. And if you go on Instagram and search up her, I'll bring it up and I'll tell you how to say it. Kohlrabi? What is it? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I can see it in my mind, but I can't think of how it's spelled.
Let's see if it'll come up under Johanna. Yeah. Colibri. If you look up, this is another version of the sweater. If you look up the Kaylee sweater hashtag and then click on it, you can see a video of how they do the stripes. It's crochet.
I thought it was like applied crochet on the top.
Yeah, I thought it was double knit, but it is crochet. You can see that there.
Well, I can tell you right now, I'd never do that.
Okay, so I think I sent this to you and you're like, I'll never do that because that's crochet. I love it. And I think I'm going to try and get yarn for that.
So the reason I wouldn't do it, not because it's crochet, because that's pretty easy crochet.
I think so, yeah.
I won't have the patience because after you knit the whole sweater, I just want to be done.
Yeah.
I don't want to be like, now I have to crochet the stripes on top.
No, but it would be such a great... There's lots of examples of people like before they finish it. And I love even the garment before the stripes.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That's definitely one that's on my list of maybe I'll make.
I don't have enough patience.
I'm really into like cozy sweaters. Apparently.
Yeah.
With all the suri in them.
Yeah.
That's what I want. All right. That was my last one.
Wishlist. Did you see the Knitcollage survey?
Yes, and I didn't fill out the survey, but I did comment on it on their Instagram.
So if you go to Knitcollage, if you follow Knitcollage, they make fun artsy yarn, which we may have talked about previously.
We have, yeah.
Yeah. Like the daisy chain one that has little flowers and stuff in it.
Yeah, because in the winter they were doing a knit along, remember? And the Grocery Girls were doing it. We talked about it on the podcast for sure.
So they have another knit along coming that they do every year, and it's basically by popular demand of what pattern you want to make. You can go vote on their website or through their bio. There's like a survey to help them decide which pattern to bring out for their knit along.
So is it only one pattern? Because last time it was like 6.
Well, you can pick on the survey, you can pick one, and then you can pick one for them to bring back from previous years. So I voted for them to bring back the dumpling bag.
Oh, yeah.
Because I loved that. Even though it is crochet, when people talked about it, people who don't crochet said it was very easy. And they just did it. Oh, so the dumpling bag
this
is
is
super
one
cute.
of the designs that they're showing off.
Yeah.
And the art yarn. Love it. There are.
Every year after the people have started it and they're like, because when they open it, you have to order your kit before a certain date and then they close it and that's it. You can't get it during the whole knit along process. Then it's closed.
Okay.
To join the knit along. And every year people are already like in the throes of it and I'm seeing all the things they're making and I'm like, dang it, why didn't I take part every year? But if they bring back the dumpling bag, I think I might get it.
And you're gonna crochet it?
Well, I'll try.
Dude.
We'll see. That's the thought because it's super cute. Do you have any wish list?
No, not really. I seen that Amanda Kafka brought in Salta bags by
I did. Co. I did see that.
Yeah, and I really want one. I'll bring that up. I didn't have it listed, but it is definitely. I don't need one though.
I know.
So
I love some of the Hohi bags, but I also like some pockets in my bags. Her bags are beautiful leather.
That's one of the things I need a closure. It also says that you can use it as a purse, which I was like, yeah, I totally could use that as a purse, except it doesn't have a top closure, and I would lose all my things in.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to find a picture, these aren't the greatest, but it's like an open bag. But I love the leather.
Yeah, they're so nice. Some of her bags are really pretty.
What was I saying? Yeah, I need also I think if I was to get a leather bag right now, like a knitting one, I would probably buy from her Leather Co. I love her bags, and she's super local to us, so I'd like to support her.
Well, she'll probably be at the fiber show we're going to.
Yeah. I actually have a purse made by her.
May 5th?
3rd.
3rd?
Yes, it is definitely the 3rd. 3rd in Camrose. Maybe she'll
That's
be there.
the Saturday?
Yes.
Oh.
Ask me how I know that.
How do you know this?
Well, because yesterday my husband texted me and said, do you want to go to, hold on, I want to get this right.
Oh, wait.
Cypress Hills.
Oh.
He said, no, do you want to go to Cypress Hill with me? And I wrote back, when, what for, sure, or yes, or something. And he's like, May 1st. And I said, oh, I can't. And he said, why not? And I said, well, because that's the Thursday. And I was like, well, that weekend I've got the Knit Away with Debbie. And he's like, it's just in the evening. It's a band. Cypress Hill, the old rap band that sings.
Oh, not to the place.
Not to the place. No. So I misread it as Cypress Hills, and he said Cypress Hill, and didn't.
I don't know who these people are.
Oh my gosh! Yes, you will. Hold on.
Okay.
They're not really kid friendly. So
now you're going to them?
I don't know. He said he might get us tickets, but it's also like it's at Rogers, and it's like half the thing.
Well, quite a few of these people are half. I wonder if Warren, what's his name, is going to be half.
Zaders.
Or a quarter.
Come on, you know this song.
You like her dancing?
You can't listen to this and not dance.
I need more time.
Come on. Not instantaneous?
No.
You're not instantaneously in an Impala, just like in high school? Come on.
I'm not really. But I probably have heard it.
Okay. How about this one?
That rings no bells. That's snoring.
Not snoring. Well, let's see if I can get...
No, I don't know that.
Your teenage years were sadly lacking in good music. Okay,
no, I know lots of them, but not that. I would send that to Chris. I bet you he'd know it.
Oh, yeah.
He probably still
Who doesn't know hits from the bong? And Insane in the Membrane.
Well, I know that.
That's what I was listening to.
Really? I didn't hear that line.
The Insane in the Rain.
Oh, I know that.
Yes, so then I was like, yeah, okay, well, it was just Thursday night, we'll go. And then he called me, he's like, I can't believe that you were just like, yes. Like, you had no idea what I wanted you to do. You're like, yeah, let's go. Let's do it.
That sounds fun to me.
I know, right?
Up for anything. That's how we are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is. Mm-hmm. I
want to go rob a bank? Sure, let's go.
Why
I'll bring my knitting needles.
Oh. So on Thursday we went to knit night, and my son was at work and he had called and I said, I'll probably be gone before you get home. And he's like, where are you going? And I was like, I'm going into Edmonton to knit with some kind of friends, the people I sort of know. And he's like, well, can you call me when you get there? And I was like, okay, but why? He's like, Mommy, you just said you're going to knit with people you sort of know. That sounds sketchy.
What are they going to do to you?
And I was like, don't worry about it. I'll have my knitting needles with me.
In a public place.
In a public place. But no, I do know them.
I just met them before.
That's what I said. And
a few
with
times.
Debbie. Yeah. And one of them is one of my former preschool parents. I know her very well. But you know how it is when you've met a few people, acquaintances, a few times. To be honest with you, the one lady that I sat with, I don't remember her name. I'm the worst.
I don't either.
I know we've knit with them almost a year ago.
And they've come to our other knit night.
But not her. That's why I don't remember. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe she did come.
Did she?
No, they brought a different lady. The neighbor lady.
Oh, right.
That's right. So we've only met this one lady once, and I don't remember her name.
I forget her name too. When she sat down, I was like, she looks different.
I know.
But maybe not.
I had the same thought, but then once she has a small local business as well, and she brought out some of her product, I was like, no, that is definitely her. Yeah. But I forget her name, which is terrible.
We need name tags everywhere we go.
I know. And I was just talking about this too. We kind of host a knit night at a community league, and there's people that come sporadically. They come, I've seen them once or twice over the last 6 months. And even then, it's every other week, so we're not going frequently or whatever. And I really feel I don't know, what's the protocol? If you've met somebody before a couple times, does it feel embarrassing to say, no. I'm sorry, I forget what your name is? Or because I feel like addressing somebody by their name is really important.
Mm-hmm. I'm okay with saying I forgot your name.
Yeah.
Because that seems like something I might do.
Yeah.
So I'd be like, I'm sorry, I'm horrible with names. Can you tell me your name again?
Yeah. I do wish with this group, though, that we could somehow do name tags or even an introduction, because there are new people that come in. It'd be kind of nice to go around the table once in a while. Maybe not every time, but once in a while and just be like, hey, what are you knitting with?
I'll just bring sticky name tags and to put them right in the middle.
Yeah.
So people can see them more. Maybe not on our forehead. Advance.
I think also it helps with clickiness. If you are in a group like that where there's new people coming, if you know their name, then it's easier to address somebody rather than yelling across the table, hey you, what are you knitting on, Yeah. Yeah, it feels more comfortable.
Inclusive.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have another craft thing.
Oh.
But it's still knitting. But yeah, you gotta see it.
Okay.
So
that was big.
My coworker has these stockings that were knit for her family years and years ago, apparently. So her sister knows a lady in BC who knit these for all of the nieces, nephews, and whatever. The lady is, I don't know if she died or moved away. I don't know. But they can't get them anymore is the point. And my coworker's son is getting engaged soon, and they have the new daughter-in-law he's been with for years. So she needs a stocking. So she brought this to me and she's like, can you make one that has her name on it?
Oh my god.
So
that's double knit.
It's not.
Okay. The green isn't? What is it?
It is color work.
It's color. What? It looks like there's...
I'm pretty sure. Look at the floats inside.
That's not the right way. I don't think that's right.
No, it's not color work?
I don't think so. It's just floats should go like this. This is color work.
So this is not?
I don't think so.
That's just because that's just knit on top?
I think so.
What is that called? It's not double knitting.
Double knitting. Intarsia? No.
No. What is it called? Duplicate stitch.
Duplicate, sorry.
So
I think that might be duplicate stitch.
Well, then that would be way easier. This is
that is definitely color work.
That's fine though. Look how easy that is.
Yeah.
But basically, and so it is Santa.
This is
Santa's duplicate stitch too then.
I think so. And so is this dog, I think.
I think that's a reindeer.
You're right. Now I see it. I don't know because you can see the red behind here. And the floats don't look right for catching. So I think it's got to be duplicate stitch. Not that I'm an expert on it or anything.
So
but
the Santa and the trees are duplicate.
Yeah. The reindeer, I don't know.
And what about the name and the date?
Well, the bricks are definitely color work. Where's the name?
Well, this is the date.
Oh, that's the date. Okay. Maybe color work? I'm not sure. Duplicate stitch?
It's hard to tell.
It's so hard to tell. It's so, like, but the way it's, like, so thick in those spots, I don't know. Are you going to make it?
Well, I bought the yarn.
This is a no for me. I'm sorry.
So I went and I bought yarn to match it.
This would definitely be a no thanks for me.
But the construction is, well, I'm intrigued by it. So that's why I'm like, I could do it. I would have to create a chart. But look at it seamed down the back.
So it's knit flat.
It's not even knit in the round. Like looks like it's seamed all the way. Doesn't it? Like all the way down the foot even.
Yeah, it does.
How did they do that?
I don't know. Because why wouldn't you know that? Oh no, the toe looks like it's seamed too.
I know.
Weird.
I was like, I would not knit this flat.
No,
I would not knit it
round.
in the round.
100% I would knit it in the round. It's a sock, essentially.
Yes.
You could knit a sock pattern in giant yarn and it would be this.
Well, I bought, this is worsted.
Yeah.
So this looked like worsted to me.
I think it is for sure. So
I basically would just have to start at the top.
Yeah.
And
then these are tied in. The sequins. They're, when you were showing me the inside,
yeah,
it looks like she stitched them
she just stitched them on top, because you can even see little stitches, like how they go around the edges.
Yeah. I mean, I think you could probably get, like, that would be okay. You could, I don't know, get like sequins that just maybe in the yarn. I don't know. They could hold double, I mean.
Oh, maybe.
Maybe, I don't know, instead of stitching it on after if you wanted. Like, does it have to be perfectly the same?
Well, I'm sure she wants this close, because I said, like, this is her daughter's.
Yeah.
The daughter-in-law's will be her name is Holly.
Okay, so
a different name.
Not a long
but
one either.
The date is the same. It'll be 1997. She was born the same year. But I said, is your son's exactly the same? Like, do you want the same motif? And she said, yeah, they're all matching. And the cousins also.
So they don't have different motifs. I gotcha.
They all are the same. So she'll want it basically the same.
Yeah. Wow.
So
that's not a project that lights my fire. You have a record, though, for taking on projects like that and helping people out.
I'm just intrigued by the construction and how I could, like, write the pattern and chart it.
Mm-hmm. I would be worried for myself that I wouldn't get it close enough that it would be disappointing, so I wouldn't want to put that pressure on myself.
I think a basic sock, though, I could do. Mm-hmm. I'm actually, now that you say that it's duplicate stitch, you think that it is. It is less daunting.
We should ask at night.
Yes.
I bet you Jeanette would know.
Oh, probably.
She would totally know. You should bring it.
Yeah. I will. I'll bring it on Tuesday.
That's the best part about community nights, guys.
Yeah, asking other people.
Mind.
Yeah.
Yes.
Actually, even look at this Santa's face.
See, like, I don't think that's why I don't think that's
that looks duplicate stitched.
It's on top. It's on top of the green, for sure. And the floats don't look right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's my to be done in December project.
Good thing you're starting now.
Well, I said to her, because she's been asking me about this since Christmas, basically, if I could do this. And I was like, well, I have to see it. And she kept forgetting to bring it to work. And she finally brought it, and I stood there inspecting it. And she's like, look at her inspecting this. And she's like, what do you think? And I'm like, well, I think I could probably make it. But I'm like, it will take, like, a lot of time.
Yeah.
Like, to figure, knitting it wouldn't take tons of time.
No.
Because it's bulkier.
It's all the motifs, though.
It's figuring
Once you get it done, it's the motifs.
Figuring out how to make it to the size, and I'd have to measure gauge, and we all know how I feel about gauge swatching. But
yeah, you'll have to make charts, too. Like little...
Yeah.
The Santa will be hard, I think, and the reindeer. The tree will be easy.
Yeah.
The reindeer especially, because it's like...
It's very interesting reindeer.
It's a very interesting reindeer. See, when you see it all out, which is on the crease there, it's not very good, but you can tell it's a reindeer. But when it's just like this, it really does look like a dog head.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting.
It's just interesting that it was knit flat.
Yeah.
And then seamed together. I don't know why she would have done it that way.
Yeah, and it is definitely, there is a seam in there.
Yeah. Why?
I don't know.
That just seems like so much work. Maybe she was old school and didn't like...
Well, when you finish it, you'll be like, I know why it was knit flat, because in the round is whatever.
No, I think it'll be way easier in the round, but I don't know. That's my other project, but it's knitting, and we'll see how it goes.
Well, I can't wait to see what happens. I'm at books. What are you at?
I could do books.
Okay. Do anything else?
I have an acquirement.
Oh, yeah, let's see it.
Well, it goes along with the books.
Okay. Did you get a clicker?
I did get a clicker.
A clicker for a book that without has pages?
Yes. I've been mocked by my family severely for buying this. Because, first of all, my level of laziness has been increased. But also because it's a book without pages and I need something to turn the pages. So here's the Kindle. Ta-da. Let's turn it on. Which I need to mention. We've talked about this before, I think. Maybe on the podcast. But just in general. Mm-hmm. The battery life of the Kindle
is insane.
Guys.
It's amazing.
I'm at 34%. I have not charged this since December when I got it. Or what? New Year. Well, yeah, Christmas break. 34%. I have not charged it. How crazy is this?
Yeah. So I have a Kobo. I can't remember which one it is. Like a Clara or something like that. I'm not sure. But it's not that old. It's like maybe 2 years old, 3 years old at the most. So it's like a newer model. And I would say I can maybe read 2 books on it.
And I know, me too. On my Sage.
And it shuts off. My Kobo shuts off after a few minutes. I have it on like severe battery save mode.
Yeah.
It shuts off after a few minutes and then it takes 5 minutes to restart it. I'm going to time it one day because it is the longest restart. I love my Kobo. I love my Kobo for a lot of reasons. One of the reasons I love my Kobo is that I can borrow books from the library and download them in EPUB, which I think is amazing. Yeah. And that's why I went with Kobo over Kindle. And then I got a Kindle for Christmas, which I asked for. And I said to my husband the other day, I wish I wouldn't have gotten this Kindle. And he said, isn't that the one I got you? And then he's like, oh, actually, you bought me both. But the reason why I wish I wouldn't have got the Kindle is because it's so amazing that I don't want to read on my Kobo anymore.
It's amazing. So, the clicker. It was like $20. Now let me say, this is supposed to make it hands-free. Now, and the reason I got it, because my hands get so cold. First world problems. So I need the little stand, which I had, but apparently Chris broke it, so now I need to order one.
Okay.
I could use the stand that this is on and put it on the other side if I needed to, but that'd be weird standing next to my bed, a whole tripod. Anyway.
Yes,
I need a stand.
The weird part.
A stand for it. But anyway, you put this little thing on it. You have to have it in the right spot so it doesn't cover your words, but right now it's just on the side. And then it Bluetooths to this little, well, it connects to this thing, so I have to turn it on. And it's connected. And then you just have to, like, hit the button. Is it going to work? Oh, it's in the wrong spot. It's turning on, like, the top thing.
Yeah, I see that.
Okay. Go away. There. Is it going to work? Yep. Ta-da!
Ta-da!
Look at...
I think it'd be weird not to hold my Kindle.
Well...
Although that being said...
I have it, like, I'm in bed, and I have it kind of, like, propped up, and I have my hands under my blankets, and I just...
read,
and I hit the button, and it turns the pages, and it's great!
I've been eating lunch alone this week because Jeff's at work, and my kids were in school, and I have had my Kindle, like, propped up. I have a case that does the psychic, and I've been eating my lunch and doing that, so...
Look, you can get this.
A clicker. It's pretty cool.
I know. So then that brings me to my reading. What have I been reading?
What are you reading?
Well, I read that book that I just gave you back. Offside. What's her name?
Avery Keelan.
Avery Keelan. It is a hockey romance, college hockey romance. So they're like, I think he is like older than her.
Same age as her brother, so yeah, I'm guessing a little bit older.
He's a few years older. I think she's like 19 or something like that. It was fine. Like, it was good.
It was like 500 pages.
But so long, because there's like 3
epilogues.
Five epilogues.
There's 5, and I counted 60-some pages of epilogue. Like, it's just way too many epilogues.
But then, like, it does...
And the story is it should be a 300-page book, at most.
It does wrap up all the questions that could possibly come. Like, what happened to the characters
15 years later?
It's like, 3 months later, a year later. Oh, the brother now has a kid. Now they're pregnant. Now they have a kid. Then he wins the Stanley Cup, because it's hockey.
That's right.
He wins the Stanley Cup, and she's a writer, and all, like...
Yeah.
All the things that happen after college.
It was a lot.
It was a long.
It wasn't my favorite book.
Pretty long book. Then on my Kindle, I have a note. What did I read? The Exception to the Rule. Have you read that one?
Can I see it?
It's Christina Lauren.
Is it an older book? Just because I feel like I've read a lot of her books.
I think it was this one.
Yeah.
It's a novella.
Possible. Oh.
It's not very long.
I don't really like novellas, generally. So
I didn't know that when I started it. And so I read it really fast. And I read this with my clicker in my bed. Click, click, click. And it was an interesting one because it's email exchanges.
So it's not a novella based on like other characters in a series or something like that?
I don't think so. Okay. I think this is by itself. And yeah, I didn't know that going in that it was, because as I was reading it, I was like, that's it? It's done? I thought there'd be more after this. But it was this kind of cute story where when they were like 15 years old and they lived in the same town, he sent her an email thinking he was sending it to a teacher because of the way the email names go. And it's like a first initial, the first 3 letters of a last name, and then some numbers. So he sent this email, and then she's like, oh, this is not who this is. And they never know each other's first names. And they create these rules where they're not allowed to tell each other anything about themselves that's identifying. And the whole book is emailing each other on February 14th every year to say Happy Valentine's Day. And they have a few email exchanges on that day every year, and that's it. And it's like, what's new with you? Well, I now am gone to college and blah, blah, blah. So they email each other back and forth for like 10 years. And then in the end, they end up meeting. And then the book like ends.
Huh.
And it's like...
Interesting.
I thought it would have been like email exchanges and then more drawn out to how they actually meet and then that story. Yeah. But the whole book is their email exchanges back and forth and where they are in life, basically. And like at one point, she has a boyfriend and he's not with someone. And then he has a girlfriend and she's not with someone. And it's like every year it's different. And they create like this relationship and are like look forward to talking to each other. And then they have this like tradition where Valentine's Day, they go out and eat dumplings, and it's like separately so in different cities or whatever, but they're eating dumplings thinking of each other because they have this email relationship for a decade. So it's kind of cute. I wish it were longer. I like her writing, their writing, because it's 2 people. But
so I have a book rec for you, based on this book.
Okay.
I read this recently, and it wasn't on my list to talk about, but it's called Hate Mail by Donna Marchetti.
Okay, I'll add this to my list.
Yeah, and so it starts when the 2 main characters in like 5th grade have to have a pen pal from another school, and she's super excited about it and like is so keen, and her letter goes to this guy who does not want to write letters. And being in 5th grade, he thinks that the best way to get out of this is to send a nasty letter back, and then she won't write back to him, and then he won't have to write anymore.
Oh.
Yeah, so he sends this like super nasty letter, and she is like angry, and then she writes back and he's like, are you kidding me? But then they end up writing to each other for literally years and years.
Huh.
Yeah. And
it's a very similar premise.
Yes, and it's really good. It's quite cute. And it's kind of told in present tense, but also then past tense through the letters as they go. And so, yeah, it's kind of cool.
Well, I put it on my list.
Yeah, you'll like it, I think.
Now, before I get to my last book that I'm currently in, you could talk about yours.
Okay, that one, and then, so I read The Dixon Rule by Al Kennedy, which is a hockey college romance as well.
Did I read that one?
You read The Graham Effect and you told me to read it. I've read
Dixon Rule. I own it because I ordered that one through the book supplier.
Okay.
But I haven't read it yet.
Well, if you have Kindle Unlimited, it is available there for anybody watching this.
Well, I own a paper copy too.
So I read that. I like Al Kennedy, so it's your typical college romance drama. It was fine.
Yeah.
I gave it 4 stars because it was a light, easy read for me.
Yeah.
And I really liked The Graham Effect, so I was in it. Yeah. And the third one just came out. It's The Charlie Method, but it's the trope is it's a threesome. What do you call that? A throuple?
Oh.
It's a throuple. Yeah. And so what I like about Elle Kennedy books though, and her series, like the campus series, is that you really shouldn't read them out of order because there's so much detail and context given to the other characters throughout the books. So in this book, in the first book, Graham Effect, which I read quite a while ago, it introduces the 2 males for the third book. And then in this one, there is like some background given especially about the one male and what he's going through in his life because he's friends with the female main character. I think that if you read the third book and not this middle one, you would really miss a lot of context. So I like that because they're not really standalones to me. They're more, it's kind of like watching a TV show, where like all the characters are being built and you want to watch all the seasons of the TV show. That's how I feel about her books. And I really like that character development in books, especially in romance books because they can be kind of like cheesy and shallow. So I like it when there's like character build up and you can see the struggles and real lifeness. So I haven't read the third book yet though. It did just come out. All right.
Is that all your book?
Okay, so I'm embarrassed to admit this, but I just read a series, a lot of books. It's actually 2 series by the same author, but it's mafia romance.
You read the whole series?
Yeah, let's not talk about it.
Okay.
I started
in 2 weeks?
I probably maybe started it last time, but I didn't want to admit that I was reading mafia romance.
I don't know. I'm about to admit that I'm reading something that...
Okay, well, the author is Nev Altaj. Hold on. Atajj. Altajj. Nev Altaj. Altajj. And so the one is Perfectly Imperfect Mafia series, and it's 10 bucks.
10 books? You've read 10 books? In 2 weeks?
I couldn't stop reading them.
They must be good.
I could not stop reading them. And then she started a new series, and it has 1 book in it out right now, and I read that one too. I could not stop. Like, I would finish the book, and I'm like, I need to read the next one.
Are these on Kindle?
Yes, they are.
Okay,
so they're all
now I might have to read them.
They're all interconnecting, but they're not all the same. Like one is like the first one. It's actually funny because I didn't read them in 2 weeks because I read the first one and I didn't love it. So I read it a while ago, and then on the book group that we're on, somebody had recommended her series, and so I searched it up and I was like, oh, I read one of these. I don't think I'll really like. But it was late at night and I needed something to read before bed for an hour. And I didn't have anything else I wanted to read. And so I was like, meh, whatever. So I downloaded the second book and I started it. And then I liked the second book so much more than the first one. And that's what started my catapult of reading them. And so some of them are like following the Russian mafia. Some have like Chicago mafia. So they're all kind of interconnected. And there's like some people that are married to each other, like into the things as whatever, alliances or whatever. But one of the things I really liked about some of the books is that the first one is the older brother, so not really his story, but then the second, third, and fourth books, I think, 3 books for sure, but I don't know what their order are. Second one for sure. They follow 3 characters who were, as younger children, taken into like a government program, off the books military program where they like trained them to be assassins or whatever. But the one story is like following the one kid he was orphaned young, but he had a mom who loved him and whatever, and then one of the military people was like, I want him in my program, but he actually wasn't a great fit for the program because he's very empathetic and not a psychopath. And so it follows his storyline in the military group, and then it also has like the guy who got him out, which was his handler, and they are in present basically living together, even though the main male character is like, I don't want you here, Albert, and his name is not Albert, it's Felix, but he calls him that to irritate him. I didn't ask you to stay here. And so there's like very interesting storylines that I think that obviously sucked me right in. So yeah,
10 books.
Yeah, and if you do decide to go down the mafia romance, there are trigger warnings. Listen to them because some of them are pretty cute. And there's big age gaps, which is not normally my thing. I don't normally read huge age gap romances, but some of these have huge age gap romances. I just pictured them as older in my head.
That's fine.
Because it's weird to me. It's icky.
So I didn't think that was embarrassing at all. It's not like when I read The Morning Glory Melting.
I was thinking about that one.
I had to pull up a picture of it in case. This isn't the one I'm reading right now, but I have read this. The Morning Glory Milking Farm. It's a monster bait romance. Haha. By C.M. Nescosta.
I have not read this.
C.M. Nescosta is a best-selling author, by the way. But
she has a little bit of a Mothman, doesn't she?
She has many interesting books. But Morning Glory Milking Farm, you can think what that might be about.
No need to expand.
With a bull and
a minotaur?
The Minotaurs and the Milkers. Anyway, no, the one I'm listening to right now, Lights Out. No. You have read this.
I loved that book.
Nevesta Allen. It's a dark romance.
Very dark.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever read any dark romances.
Oh, then
because I really love the rom-coms.
Yeah.
I love laughing out loud. They're just so funny.
Yeah.
I'm listening to this. It is great to listen to.
Lots of people in that book group that we're on, they say, like, listen to it. I can't listen to audiobooks, but, like, I was tempted because they say it's
very
amazing.
Good listening because it's the dual.
Yeah.
They paid a lot of money to do that because it costs lots of money to produce it. But
yeah.
His voice is great. And there's the parts where it's a stalker romance. But the part where the parts where he's using a voice thing to change his voice.
Yes.
It's interesting listening to it because it totally he changes his voice.
Yeah.
And
I've actually,
great.
In that group that we're on, there are comments that say that they've started to read it and didn't like it. And then people are like, you have to try it on the audio. And that they've come back and said it was amazing on audio. So if that's your thing. But
it is really good on
audio. I really like that one. I like a good touch her and die kind of trope.
I would think I'm maybe halfway through listening to it.
It's spicy.
Very,
very spicy. It was one of the spiciest.
And it's really nonstop. Like, there's still lots of story development, too. I'm at the part where she just treated the rapist in the hospital. She's a nurse.
Yeah.
So I just hit that part.
Okay. Oh, then you're about to get to a really good part, I think.
Well.
Like spicy part. Is it the part with the knife?
I haven't had that part yet.
Okay. I actually talked about this book. If you go back in our podcast, I think the one... It was maybe the episode 2 or 3. It was here at my house in the living room. I remember talking about it.
Yeah. I've been hesitant because I don't gravitate towards the dark things.
The mafia romances are dark as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. But 10 of them sucked you in, so maybe they're really, really good. But this is surprisingly, it's good. I like it. We'll see how it plays out, but I'm like, I'm trying to like, I was listening to it while I was ripping out my sweater and whatever, and then my daughter comes in. It's like, I want to make Rice Krispie squares. She's never made them before, so she's like, I'm gonna wing it. And I'm like, no, we don't wing Rice Krispie squares.
No, you don't wing it.
I'm like, you want to look this up. So then I'm like listening while I'm helping make Rice Krispie squares. I'm like, I can't focus right now.
Yeah.
I'm like, there's things happening in my ear, so I gotta turn this off.
That's funny.
Yeah. So I am listening to that.
That's interesting. The second book comes out soon, but it's the storyline of the cousin who is introduced in this book, and I'm having a hard time wrapping my head around liking him. So
There's a cousin introduced?
Eventually, you'll get there.
Oh, okay. I'm like, I don't think so. The roommate's not a cousin, right?
No.
That's just his friend.
Yeah. The book takes a twist that I did not see coming.
Oh.
And yeah, when you get there, you'll be like, what? And then it's, yeah.
Am I going to like the ending? Is the ending good?
It's so long ago, I don't really remember it. But
Okay.
it doesn't end in a cliffhanger or anything like that.
Okay. Okay, well.
But it does take a twist. You're going to be like, oh, this is an interesting storyline. I think the author did a really good job of like melding everything that happens. You'll see what happens. You're very close to the twist because she's treating the rapist right now.
Okay. I think that's
all I got too.
that's all I got.
We'll be back in a couple weeks.
We will.
Hopefully I'll have something else knit.
I think, well, I'll have some other things because I'm like, it just have that collar of that vest.
I might have this.
I'll fix the sleeve of my Catbells, hopefully.
If
I can figure out what I did. It'll be done that.
I don't think the sleeves will take very long.
No, they're only like 6 inches long.
No.
But
no, I should probably have this finished and then, I don't know.
Something else on the go.
Something else on the go.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, this was fun. Hopefully the snow melts.
Well, it'll melt eventually. It won't stay forever.
That's right.
That's the circle of life.
Okay. Well,